paralysis by analysis. We are very good at
Oh
that.
my God. I mean, yes. He said, expertly and eloquently. It was a good road.
This is a good road.
Suspension seems good in this car.
I think it's had shocks. I do notice now that it's getting some miles, and driven probably harder than it's ever been.
Mm.
Like the rear end's a little tired, and there's so many bushings and things. These cars are so good. Like
Yeah,
until it fails or you get the aggressive negative camber in the back, you
right.
don't really know.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah.
car just works.
It's okay.
Yeah. Uh, now this is just turned into a really good car.
Oh, yeah.
I, I, I
Well, and that's why, I mean, why didn't you just decide to flush it and buy a 996? Because you don't have a compelling reason
I don't
to.
have a compelling reason to. I like this car. It's not, like the three when and the Mercedes before it, like they got rusty, and
Hmm.
and the three wasn't unsightly yet, but it was getting there, and the Benz was really unsightly and leaked because of the rust.
Right. Well, the
Uh,
Benz was from here.
oh yeah, yeah, it was a local, and so was the three.
Oh, was it?
Three was a local
I don't know
car.
why I thought you bought that in California.
No, no, that car was a local car. It was very well maintained, even cosmetically, but it was a local car.
I
Uh,
like that car.
I did too. I just like this car more.
Sure. Well, but it suits your lifestyle.
Right.
I mean, and an E30, as we've talked about, that's an old car now.
Yeah.
And not that it can't be a good old car, but for everyday bombing around,
Mm-hmm.
you're not thinking as hard about this car as you are about that car.
Yeah. But even the E46, like that was the one that was starting to get unsightly.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was thinking about the red car.
Another 318 was unraveling before my eyes.
Uh, but you sold that locally, didn't you?
I did. I
Yeah.
sold it to some guy who wanted to keep it up at his cabin up north somewhere. And I'm like, oh, good luck with
Yeah.
that. That's one of those cars that had a couple little things that I would recognize, like if I saw it on the street,
Uh-huh.
assuming they weren't changed. And for a while, I was looking like, I wonder, like, if that car's going to be back on the market.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny. As many cars as I've had pass through my hands, every so often you see ones. I'm pretty sure that was mine.
Yeah,
And they're the obvious ones like the Brown 6.9. Oh, that was funny. Showing up in Poland or wherever the hell it was,
yeah.
and
And
with a different story. It's like, oh, dudes, no, from like a legit auction house
yeah,
too. I don't want to name names because I don't remember which one it was, but it was one of like the big three
yeah,
in Europe.
yeah. Oh, actually, Rob and I were talking about that the other day. I don't even know how it came up. I was like, yeah, Reed had this. Oh, because there was uh, we were talking about SLCs, and then
Mm-hmm.
we were talking about that green SLC that came out of Germany that was like a day two
Oh
AMG
yeah,
build
yeah.
with the 5 speed and the whole, and it had a 6.9 in it. And we were talking about 6.9s. You never see ratty 6.9s anymore. I'm like, yeah, Reed had one, and then it wound up in Eastern Europe somewhere, restored as an original Euro market cars.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they were honest about it being a U.S. car with converted bumpers and headlights,
Right.
but the miles were wrong. The history of the car was like, that's
That's
not
not
right.
that. That.
But it is funny when you see cars pop up, especially in Europe somewhere, but anywhere. Like, I know that car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the red 500e was like that. It's like, wait a minute, I sold that car to you for half that much money, you prick. Um, but
Again, once
that's
it,
understanding the market
yeah,
better than
what
me.
once it leaves my purview,
Yeah, yeah.
is
No,
what it is.
that was very much a power to you thing for that dude.
This guy.
Um, I don't see as many locally. Somebody, oh, that was years ago. Shit, that was when they sold the Red Accord. when we traded it in on the Miata,
Mm.
and I guess we left paperwork in it. And guy reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, you know the tires in this car don't keep air." Like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, part of why I traded it in.
Yeah. Yeah. You might want to talk to the dealer about
Exactly.
that, or whatever auction house you bought it from.
Right. That car wanted so badly to be an LXI
Yeah.
because the LX was dog shit slow.
Yeah.
It should have been as quick as the Prelude, but it wasn't.
But it just wasn't.
Hey, it drove nicely. But yeah, those alloy wheels, because it had Honda, accessory alloys on
Mm.
it, and yeah, they just, like, I don't know, leaked air.
The beads corrode. I had it
Oh, was it?
on the winter
Yeah, that
wheels
makes
on the
sense.
three. They were on the M3 and then the 330.
Yeah,
There was always one, and it moved around the car.
yeah, yeah.
That you know, I forget. Every time I took it in, I say, okay, can you glue the wheel to the?
Right. No, that makes sense.
um, and they do. They debeat it. They grind it. They put some Lord knows like roofing tar on it. Put it all
Right.
back together.
Yeah, I remember I tried to sort of refinish those wheels because of the corrosion. Connecticut winters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I stopped it, but I didn't make it look great. Basically steel wooled them because they were machine finish.
Yeah.
I steel wooled them and then sprayed clear on them. But actually, I never really thought about the bead, but that's exactly what it would have been. Anyway,
Back before all the stuff was really old and corroded, it was always a stem leak, right, or
right.
a valve stem steel leak. But now it's, especially in this part of the world, it's always a bead leak.
Well, and honestly, like, it's one thing to hear from somebody that you sold a car to that has a question,
Mm-hmm.
but if you're a couple owners down the road, or I traded it in on
Yeah,
something,
like don't call me.
yeah, I don't need to hear from you.
Yeah.
It's funny because I got the title with the Range Rover on from the person that owned it for 17 years or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And I did briefly think about reaching out just for any history. I'm like, they don't want to hear from me.
Right. There's a reason they sold that car.
Well, and it was 2 years ago because, as I told you, it sort of made the rounds at different dealers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't remember. They don't care.
Yeah.
If they had any paperwork that didn't come with it, it's gone.
Yeah.
Or it should be. That's wagon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like I don't want to hear from anybody, even if it's just a, hey, do you know about question?
Yeah.
I don't want to.
I don't want to know. I don't want to
know. Leave me alone, I said. Well, and the sort of what's become the cars and coffee culture.
Yep.
That I have so much more patience for, like the small cars and coffee that we're doing in my hometown,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to big car events.
Right.
I never say never. I'm not super interested in going to a meet of the insert manufacturer name club here.
Right.
Insert manufacturer name here club. I just, I'm not going to drive across the country to go, pat each other on the back for buying the same car.
Right.
Or the same brand or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do like the cars and coffee, and I like the ones that are low key. That the big one where we live has really started to turn into a multi six figure supercar event.
Yeah.
Not my bag.
No, that's what the ones here have. I think I told you. So started at the Motorplex things, and they still do it at the new Motorplex out here. But the original one in Chanhassen has become a much smaller thing, and it's later in the morning. So as one of the people said, the kids don't get up that early, or they have to leave earlier than that to go do whatever else they're doing. So it's like, okay, I might try to go to the smaller one, but yeah, the credit card car, I just don't care. There's nothing there.
I mean, I might go with my neighbor in his GT3.
Mm-hmm.
you know, so I can arrive in an appropriate car. When I had the E63 wagon, we went to one of those, and yeah, like nobody could have been less interested.
Right.
Because it was all Porsche GT cars and Ferraris, but all late model stuff.
Yeah, it's like, oh, you bought a Gallardo like 50 other people here.
Right, right, and yeah, I mean, awesome car if that's what you're into.
Right. Yeah.
It's not what I'm into, and it's just I like this one guy comes to our Cars and Coffee, uh, and he was coming in his restored he did the work VW thing,
I like
Type
that.
181.
I like that.
And a yellow with black, cool car.
Mm-hmm.
And he shows up at the last one in this ratty Carmen Ghia.
I like that too.
It's like, yep, and it had temp tags on it.
Nice.
Like, so what's the story with this? He goes, it was just it showed up on Facebook Marketplace. Like, yep, been there.
Yeah, had to do it.
And the price was right. And interestingly, the price was like 17 grand for this ratty convertible.
Yeah.
Carmen Ghia. It's like, wow, that's more than I paid for my pretty clean E24. But okay,
yeah,
but that's your thing.
Yeah. If it's not rusty, the rest is fixable.
Right. And but the things like that show up, and the guys that are hands on,
mm-hmm.
they have the best stories. The guy that wrote a check for his late model R8 Gallardo, whatever,
mm-hmm.
Ferrari number.
Yeah.
Cool car. I don't want to take away. Would I like to have a Ferrari, FF like we were talking? Yeah, I'd love to have one of those for a hot minute.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have that scratch, and I don't, even if I did, that's not my interest.
Well, and that's it. I don't have the scratch, but I also don't have the itch to scratch. Like, I genuinely don't care. I think it's great Ferrari built a weird station wagon, shooting brake, whatever it is. I think that's great. But I don't care, right? We've talked about this for 30 years. If I had all the money, I would have the weirdest dumb car collection of cars nobody cares about. And you're kind of there. I mean, people care about them, but like, a 633 isn't the 6 people buy.
No, but I like that example.
But you like that example. You have the example that you want.
Right.
Well,
I don't have a special edition Miata.
Right.
I don't have the supercharged Range Rover.
Right. The late facelift one, was it the Chelsea Tractor or whatever?
Right. I mean, my 129 is the special series, but I didn't buy the V12.
Right.
And that was a conscious choice.
Mm-hmm.
I could have bought the V12. I didn't want the V12.
Yeah.
I like the M113 motor.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got essentially the same power.
Right.
I mean, there's very little performance difference, but there's so much more shit on the SL600 that breaks.
Yeah.
Because it's got the adjustable suspension.
Yes.
It's got all that stuff. I don't want that. I want the solid motor. I want a point and squirt, and I don't want to spend a fortune keeping it up.
Right. Yeah, you had the V12. You know what that hell is.
Yeah. I mean, and it's a neat engine. Very cool. And I don't want it.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. I mean, might I have one again in the future? Who knows? But I'd probably do a sedan again. Mm-hmm. And I don't want that in the convertible. So yeah, I mean, I don't have to have the best of the best of the best of the best. You know. To your point, I mean, there's a lot of sort of rando cars that I'd still like to have.
Mm-hmm.
But we were talking about, 4-door, A-body GM cars from the late 60s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
That'd be fun.
Briefly.
Again, for me, everything's briefly, mostly. But I don't know.
Every time I say I don't want another keeper car, like cars I can't get rid of, cars I don't want to get rid of, I wind up with one of those cars.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. It's really going to be interesting with the Mazda that I can't get rid of it.
And what's going to happen when nobody's driving it? Right? I mean, and eventually that'll happen.
Well, Well, then you give it to one of the kids if they want it.
If they want it.
If they don't want it, then you sell it.
Yeah.
But I mean, for the foreseeable future, as long as one of us can drive stick, we'll keep the car.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's just sort of new territory for me. I mean, yeah, I mean, Heather's car was always like off limits. Like, you're not selling my car.
Right.
All right, fine, but it's not. That's your car.
Right.
And and even then, ultimately, I convinced her.
Well, yeah, by buying her a brand new one.
It worked. But I wanted a brand new car too to be driven, to admire from afar.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, we are actually going this way. What road is this? This is that road.
So it is.
Sort of forgotten that was this road. Uh,
It's got plenty of go.
oh, the mid range on this car is phenomenal. Yeah, no, I like the V8. I don't, for my day to day, I don't need the V8.
Okay, no question that you'll know the answer to that I haven't looked up. Do they have chips for the 4.4?
Yeah, you do the Conforti download. Yeah,
Huh,
I don't know how it works in your 4.4, but I'll bet Turner knows.
probably. I might have to Google that.
Yeah,
Again, it goes fine.
and this
It,
did
it
too.
could go a little better.
And that's it. Yeah, if you look at the numbers for the Turner plug-in thing,
Yeah.
it's not a lot by the numbers. But if you look at the curves, the power curves, it makes a lot more power, like all over.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's not a fast car. It was a quick car in its day,
Oh, sure.
but it's quick enough
I mean, it's
now.
probably 0 to 60 in like 7 seconds.
I think so. But it makes nice power.
Yeah. Again, it's like a different conversation than it was 30 years ago, 20
Yeah.
years ago. Because if you want to go silly fast, go get a Tesla
Mm-hmm.
or equivalent.
Yeah.
You know, that'll be the fastest car you ever drove.
Mm-hmm.
Or a multi-$100,000 supercar,
Right.
if that's your thing. I you know I like how quick the SL is. Yeah, the six is quick
Mm-hmm.
for its day.
In its way, right?
In its way for its
Right.
day. Yeah.
It's funny how I haven't driven a big six. Oh no, I did. I drove Rob's 635, and I hadn't driven an
I
M30.
thought his was a 633 too.
Nah, it's a 86.
Oh, okay. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah. Um, and I hadn't driven an M30, probably since my old 528.
Hmm.
And I'm like, oh yeah, these are kind of. I mean, they're great engines, but they're a little ponderous,
A little bit.
right? They're not really point and squirt
Oh
engines.
no. No.
A stock one. I don't remember if his is breathed on or not. Uh,
It's a different characteristic, your
right.
character.
Mhm.
Um, but
But it's fine.
it is
It's
fun.
good.
But I mean, it's definitely now it feels like an old car.
Yeah.
I, one of the things about the six that I noticed is it feels more like an E3 than an E36.
Yeah.
From the standpoint of you've got a big space down here, the pedals, orientation, the steering wheel.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, I mean, it's obviously more modern than the E3, but you kind of this is an old car.
Yeah. Rob sends me an '89 525i the other day on Marketplace.
Yeah.
Seemingly nice one. And he mentioned, he's like, yeah, somebody once told me these early M20 cars can be kind of fun. And I wrote back, I said, well, yeah, with a stick. This one's an automatic. And we're chatting more about that. And I said, it like that '89 525i is an older car than my Bavaria was when I bought it in '97.
Yeah.
Or yeah, it was 25 years old, and like that 525 is 36 years old,
Yeah.
and I don't consider those old cars, but
Well, like we
here,
said, I mean,
here we are.
I still remember the magazine where they introduced them, and it was the Euro car with the cloth seats and
Mm-hmm.
the no airbag steering wheel. And it's just wow, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Um, but yeah, no, it's old cars are older
oh
now,
yeah.
which is a dumb, obvious statement, but it's still like,
Well, right. I mean, my BMW is 42 years old.
well,
42 years
I
old.
know. Well, in 2 years, this car will be as old as the BAV was when I got it in '97.
Oh my
This is
God.
not an old car,
No,
except it is.
except it is. Yeah. We just don't spend as much time in brand new cars. And as soon as I was thinking that and was about to say it, I was thinking about, the dashboard pod now that's this thick,
Mm-hmm.
on my wife's car,
Yep.
and screens all the way across here, and the sound deadening or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That it's very quiet, it's very serene. Um, all those haptic switches, switch gear, and all that stuff, which I like that Europe is forcing buttons again.
Basically outlawing.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. You're not going to get the NCAP, the higher ratings for NCAP if it's all touchscreen shit.
Yep.
No, I think that's right.
I mean, honestly, that's the one thing I really don't care for in the new E-Class
Mm-hmm.
is there's very few switches
Yeah.
and buttons.
Yeah.
There are a few.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, like there's a mute button for the stereo,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that. But I don't like these haptic, sort of
No,
shiny black plastic.
no, especially on the steering wheel, like the
Yes.
Volkswagen Audi. They have that on the steering wheel. It's like, I can do this if we're listening to the radio.
Yeah.
It's not. How does this work?
Yeah, and that's what our car has. It's got those. How does this work?
Mm-hmm.
And oh my God, why can't I just make this do what I want it to do?
Yeah.
That and the car listening and talking to you.
Yeah.
So the interface in the Mercedes is just a little bit sensitive. It hears things that you don't say. And so like you're listening to a podcast. And next thing you know, it's saying, "What can I do for you?" or whatever it says.
Right.
Like nothing, and Heather's like yelling at it now. It's like, "Stop! Go away!" Like, no, or cancel. That's what she, cancel. And yeah, yeah, that's a little excessive.
Right.
I mean, I like it as a party trick. You get in the car. Hey Mercedes, turn on the passenger seat heating.
Mm-hmm.
It goes, turning on the passenger seat heating. Like, okay, great. Beyond that, useless, pointless.
Yeah, I literally don't care.
Yeah. And I don't want to talk to my car.
No,
I don't need to. I'm a
I don't
functional.
I don't want my car to talk back.
Right. I'm a functional human being.
Yeah.
And I have tried, like, and there's a couple of little, sort of Easter eggs in it. I think I said, "Hey Mercedes, tell me a joke," and it did.
Oh, funny.
But okay.
Yeah.
Again,
So
party trick.
Right. So you've done that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey Mercedes, never talk to me again.
Oh, does that work?
I don't know. But how do you undo it? Like for the next owner?
Who cares?
Yeah, that's their problem. But yeah,
Hey Mercedes, what's my safe word?
Yeah. No kidding. But anymore, like that's the stuff. Like I do wish that some car maker of some repute would sell an emissions and safety modern car with an old school interface.
Yeah.
I do feel like there's a market for that. It's probably a very thin market,
Mm-hmm.
and not enough to justify the R&D and the tooling expenses and everything else. And I don't care which, if it's based on an old car. I don't care if it's an E23 or an E39 or a 123 Mercedes or 124 or something completely, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
A Saab 9.5. Not really that, but something like that with analog gauges and all that. The problem is nobody knows how to deal with those things anymore.
Right.
They need computers, and yeah, you could have computers driving a lot of that stuff, but give me dials, give
Mm-hmm.
me switches. You know, leverage the fact that you've got Blaupunk selling a modern, old school, Bluetooth capable, DIN chassis stereo.
Yeah, but
You know,
it's all niche market shit,
it
right? I
is.
mean, any of this stuff is just niche market.
Yeah.
Um, um, and that's sort of, it would have been interesting if the EV tax credit thing hadn't totally gone up in flames. Because the Slate pickup, these like pretty
Oh
simple
yeah.
EV
Yeah.
pickups that you can modify and customize, from the factory or do yourself. I thought that was a really neat thing. But it was very, in as much as the new EV can be analog, it
Yep.
was a very simple vehicle.
Have
Yeah,
they given up?
I haven't heard anything.
Yeah.
I don't think they've given up, and it'll be interesting if they can sell it, close to 30 grand rather than closer to 20 grand.
Right.
But I like, you want a screen on the dashboard, you put your phone there.
Yep.
Great, that's the screen I want.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
that's the screen I use in most of my cars.
right. I don't want, the Mercedes or, any of the others. Like, and now GM won't sell you a CarPlay or Android Auto compatible head unit in the States.
Right.
It's like, really, guys? You think you're going to do that better, huh? All right.
Yeah, that seems like a bad idea.
Well, they want to own the data,
Of
right?
course they
I mean,
do.
that's really what it is. But, so they can sell you ads, but it's like, yeah, fuck right off with that.
Right. I like the convenience of a CarPlay head unit, but honestly, I'm not putting that in my cheap old car.
No, no. But for my Slate pickup truck, to use that example,
Yeah.
if you're an Android user, you use your phone. If you're
Right.
an Apple user, you use that, and
Yeah.
and I like that because all my stuff's already on my phone. I don't need to sync it. I don't.
Right.
Do you want to do you want to transfer all your contacts? No, I don't want to transfer
I
my
want to be able
contacts.
to talk, so through Bluetooth, what
Right.
have you, and have it integrate with the car
Mm-hmm.
and a microphone up here or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I want that technology. I want to be able to hear what it's playing and saying.
Yeah.
Um, Other than that, I'm fine with the phone screen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need.
I don't need your system.
Right. It's interesting though on the GM thing because that's what Ford tried with Sync. That's what Toyota tried with their proprietary thing,
Mm-hmm.
and they failed miserably.
Yeah, nobody wanted it.
Yeah. Well, and even the Mercedes, they want you to use the app, and it recognizes the user when they're driving.
Yeah.
Except you can say other user.
Mm-hmm.
We don't tell it who's driving. It doesn't even know me.
Right.
The dealer programmed Heather in when we got the car.
Sure.
We never use it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Other
But
user.
but it's part of the delivery shtick.
Well, it was. But yeah, I don't need that.
No.
I don't want my data in the car.
No. I was weird about that when we got the Subaru. Like, oh, do you want this? Do you want this to be your preferred car and this and that? And at
Right.
first, I sort of balked at it, but then I'm like, well, this is our car, and
Right.
like, that era of car doesn't talk to the internet because we didn't pay for Starlink. I should slow down through here. But yeah, like, yeah, okay, for our car, we're gonna have it for a long time. That's fine.
Yeah.
But like, if I get in a rental car,
I don't sync anything.
I
I mean,
don't
I
don't
connect to CarPlay and I always delete my
I
phone.
always delete it, and I'm a nice person, so I delete everybody
Yeah,
else's.
I've done that. Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes there's a lot of them, and then I get bored and I don't do it anymore. But I always delete mine.
The loaner car from Mercedes was the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm driving around in that GLC, and I go to put my phone into it, and yeah, it's like Bob's iPhone and Ivan's iPhone, and,
Right.
and like yeah,
Yeah.
Bob and Ivan don't want their phones
Right.
talking to this car.
Yeah. When I dropped off that Hyundai Tucson in Salt Lake, It was a Tucson SCL, whatever the premium version is. So it had the big, well, it had the big,
Oh
the
yeah,
big
yeah.
screen
You showed me
cockpit,
the
and
dashboard.
I actually
Yeah,
liked it. It was really easy to use. The whole wireless thing, typical Koreans, seamless,
yeah.
worked beautifully. Um, but it's at SLC. There's a gas station on premises, so I got gas before I took it back, and I sat there and like deleted everything.
Mm-hmm. The Mercedes, it's funny because every so often it just decides it doesn't want to talk to her phone, and it'll do that for like a day, and then it's fine again.
Yeah,
Really,
yeah,
a little weird,
yeah. No, they do that.
but a lot of them do it.
Yeah, but again, like the actually the Subaru did that when we first got it. There was a software update because if you were doing a lot of short trips
Mm.
and plugging your phone in, unplugging it, plugging it back in,
All right,
that,
because it's not wireless, is it?
now it's a first gen. Anybody who knows the era will know that there's a big continuity flaw.
I feel like there needs to be.
I mean, right?
It's us. But no, like you're saying, I mean, my wife knows to call you, your wife knows to call me.
Right.
I'm just reasonably sure that your wife is going to be, sorry, my wife is going to be calling you based on family history.
You're right,
Uh,
right. Well, I've said for years that I'm going to die before Chris. And, she thought it was funny when we first got life insurance, and I said, "Well, I'm now officially worth more dead than alive." She thought
yeah,
that was
yeah,
funny because we got it at the same time.
yeah.
But now it's like, no, no, no. You're going to outlive me. I'm going to make sure
I mean,
that.
that's one of the things. It's like I kind of want to, I don't want to go anytime soon, but I kind of want to go when I can still afford the. I mean, we got decent life insurance right now.
Right.
A good payday for you, babe. You know.
Well, right. Yeah. I mean, we had really good life
uh,
insurance through AAA, and
yeah,
then we had to get rid of that because it was 20 years. Like, oh my God, it's 20
yeah,
years. And then, we got it through my company. She's got it through hers. We've got it through something else. So it's like, yeah, if that happens, then, she'll have a decent day.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, likewise, I have a decent day if something happens to my wife, but I don't want to deal.
No, that's the thing is I don't want to deal
This guy is.
shit out of luck.
Well, I get how right of way works. Does he? She? Um, but that's it. I don't expect my wife to figure out how to get rid of cars and what have you. That's why I have car friends,
Right.
and you in particular,
Well,
because you know where the where the car bodies are buried.
right. It's
Um,
like you don't want to be the guy who's like, oh yeah, Heather, he always said this one wasn't worth anything.
yeah,
He
I'll just take it off your hands.
yeah, like I'll take it back to Minnesota. I don't know if anybody's really ever gonna want that car.
Well, that was one of the things when I was asked to do that for my friend's wife, and he passed away. And it's like actually, I wouldn't mind buying a couple of these cars, but I don't want to lowball. You same with the parts stash,
Right.
humongous parts stash, but and good stuff. I mean, whole interiors of 6.3s and things like that, old Mercedes
Mm-hmm.
and 6.9s too. It's like there's some money here, and brand new set of Michelin 215 70 14
Yeah.
V-rated radials and stuff.
Yeah. Show
But
car tires, right? Because
yeah,
they're probably 50 years old,
yeah,
40 years old, but show car tires.
but like yeah, I don't want to offer you money because whatever I offer, I'm gonna feel like I'm taking advantage,
Right.
even if I'm offering too much. And I also don't want to offer too much because
Right. Because then you're a bad consumer.
right, right. So from that standpoint, we trust each other not to do that to our
Yeah.
spouses.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, probably.
Yeah. No, I
Um,
think so.
um, manage expectations and all that. But yeah, no, she knows to call you. Um, just like I know a lawyer that if I'm ever in a plane crash, this guy like specialized in that kind of law.
Mm.
Like I have that written down somewhere. Like I mean, this is a long shot, but if this ever happens, like call this guy.
Well, again, plane crashes do happen. Not so much in the U.S., but you guys travel overseas, and
Yeah.
sometimes planes go down in the middle of the water, and sometimes I don't really know what happened.
Well, but if it's both of us, then I guess I keep thinking I'm going to write a letter and leave it for people to find.
I mean, we have attorneys,
Well,
for that, and
sure.
and people, right? They'll they'll figure
I
out.
know, but I kind of want to. I want some control.
I suppose.
I want to dictate things. I haven't planned my own funeral yet.
Ah, you're just gonna be buried and scattered in your backyard,
Probably.
wherever that is, and whoever's living there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so do you write the letter now, or do you wait? Because,
How long do you wait?
well, I don't know, because life is short, and as John Cusack said in Gross Point Blank, nobody chooses when, man. Like it could be tomorrow, it could be next week. You don't know.
No, but he also said, if I show up at your door, it's probably because you did something to bring me there.
Well, that is true, and
That's a thing.
yeah,
Yep. Yep.
even though you'll be dead. So,
Yep. I'll be dead.
yeah. Okay. Bye.